To go to Asia, I quit my job, which I was very successful at, and I went to San Francisco, and there I was going to fly to Rangoon country to get the visa and that sort of thing. Then I did a 2-year retreat at Chamyayeta with Sayadaw Ujanaka. At the end of 2 years, he told me that I was ready to go out and teach, but I wasn't satisfied. I didn't feel like I'd gotten as much as I should have. I went back to Malaysia. Many people were very interested in having me teach the Burmese method of meditation, but I didn't feel like it led to what it talks about in the suttas. It didn't lead to Nibbana the way that I was explaining Nibbana. So instead of teaching the Vipassana, what I did was started teaching loving-kindness meditation. And that became very popular in Malaysia. There were sometimes I was giving huge retreats, sometimes as many as 75 people. And then at one point I was asked to go to the largest monastery in Kuala Lumpur by K. Sri Dhammananda, who has just since died not too long ago. It so happens that there was a monk that came from Sri Lanka that was a meditation teacher, and he asked me how I taught. So I explained to him the way that I was teaching, and he told me, "You're teaching exactly right, but you're using the language of commentaries. Why don't you put the commentaries down and then go to the suttas and just use your suttas as your guide?" So that's what I did. And as soon as I did that, there were light bulbs going off in my mind. I was understanding everything in the suttas because I didn't have the overlayment of the commentaries to kind of cloud my thinking. Since then, I have developed a way of teaching where I read the sutta so you know that it's not coming from me, and explain what the suttas mean.
Well, I've been a Buddhist for about 40 years, practicing Vipassana meditation for most of that. And then a little over a year ago, I decided to enroll in a retreat that was led by Bhante Vimalaramsi. A friend of mine had recommended that I do such, and it changed my life in wonderful ways. Having been a Buddhist, to really see the Dharma unfold in front of me, practicing this tranquility, insight, meditation was a revelation. And within a few days, I had experienced in meditation what I hadn't been able to do in practicing the straight Vipassana technique for maybe nearly 40 years and in a dozen retreats. So I'm very grateful to Bhante for doing that. And as the retreat went on, I experienced even deeper states of meditation.
What we're trying to do is get back to the original teaching of the Buddha. And the more that I read the suttas to people, the easier they understand. An awful lot of people are looking for a path that they think is very complicated. But the Buddha's teaching is very simple. Not always easy, but very simple to understand. This is the path that does lead to liberation.